Eddie's Greenhouse Garden, growing your own food. Today, transplanting cabbage seedlings into my aquaponic floating raft greenhouse.
Nice sunny day here, and I think it's the 22nd or the 23rd of February. And in the greenhouse right now, it's about 80 degrees. Outside, it's 35 or something like that. It's going to be a nice day today. But today is the day to transplant all of the cabbage plants that I've got growing in the germination area out down there in the basement of my house. But first, I've got to have a place to put them. Now, as you can see, we've got from last winter's crop here that's all going to seed. The holes are pretty well taken up. And over here, this is where I planted transplanted the new ones that were growing down in the germination area. And this is the very first one I planted. You can see it's coming to, but the ones I let grow a little bit more, well, they're doing a little bit better. But what I've got to do is I'm going to clear the holes out. Now, most of them have been cleared out. And I'm going to let this one stay because it's the biggest one. And I'm going to use it for seed because that's what it's doing. It's going to go to seed. You can see over here. See, these are broccoli. And they are all going to seed. As you can see, maybe some of these. Well, you can see there's little heads here. And what it does, it's supposed to form one nice big head. But here's one that you can see that this should have formed a head. But instead it's spreading out, and then it'll get to this point where it's starting to have flowers on it. And then it'll get more and more flowery until there's seeds in there. So I'm going to let them grow so I can save the seeds because they just went to seed. Now here's a cauliflower that's going to do the same thing. So we'll let this one grow out and harvest the seeds off of it for next year. So what I'm going to do is take this one out, and we're just going to let the soil that's in here, just dump it out here and just put it in here and use it for additional soil here in this grow bed. And we'll go inside, and I need about 4 or 5 more of these, and we'll transplant them into these, and then we'll put them out here. Well, when I transplant these, you know, I've got a choice of what I can use. What's in here is perlite, and what that is kind of a volcanic porous rock, and it has the consistency of styrofoam. You know, if you take a styrofoam sheet and you just kind of crunch it up and you have it in your hand, you know, that's kind of what this feels like. It's soft and it's water absorbent, and it works real good. And I have a bunch of this stuff, so I could use this, but I have another thing that I've kind of gotten fond of. It's called coconut core. And basically what that stuff is, it's coconut shells and, you know, the hair that's on coconuts when you take them off the tree. It's that stuff, but all ground up and cooked and whatever to where it's like a powder. And it has no nutrition in it, but as far as water absorption and that kind of stuff, it's really good. So I like using that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump this in here because that'll help out this soil. And I'm going to take these 5 cups in the house. I'll probably need more than that because I've got more than 5 plants that I want to bring out here. But anyway, let's go on in there and get the cabbage plants put in these pots. Well, okay, now this is a little tub full of coconut core. Now I've got another video if you want to know exactly what this stuff is, and it explains what it is. I'll put a link on this video to if you want to go down there and see that. But it comes in bricks like this, see, and you soak it in the water and it expands and you get quite a bit out of it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over to the germination area there and grab that little container that's full of cabbage sprouts. Now these are the cabbage sprouts, and I hope they're in view there. I hope I'm holding it in the right place. But anyway, this is what I'm going to pull out of here to plant in those little pots that I was just showing you. Now you can see I've got a whole lot more than 5, so I'm going to try to maybe take 5 of them out and put them out there, and maybe wait a couple of weeks and then put 5 more in there to kind of stagger them just a little bit. The first thing I want to do is I want to get this very, very wet so that I can pull the plants out of here without busting up the roots too much. So I just went over there and dipped into the fish pond, and as you can see, this is a muddy mess now. Okay, so here's one of the net pots that I'm going to use, and the way to do this is let me just grab one of these and try to get it out of here without. There we go. Okay, there. I've got two of them. Now you can see that there they are. See, they come apart real easy, and there's two of them. So see, the roots don't look very damaged at all, and so I'm going to lay these down kind of right here. And then what we'll do is, if you can see this, fill this about half full with this coconut core, and then lay this down on top of that. And then what I'm going to do is fill the top half of this up. Let's see, there we go. And there we are. Now this is dry coconut core, but it's not going to matter because I'm going to take these out and put them in the Floating Raft aquaponics setup, and this stuff will soak up the water and it'll be just fine. So I'll get the rest of these. There's 5 of them. Now I've got still one more plant over here sitting on top of this seed packet. I'll go out and get some more cups, and we'll take care of that. Now what's left here in this this little germination container, you see it's full of mud. What I'm going to do is try to dump most of the mud out of here and let these grow a little while longer. So I was able to dump quite a bit of the water out here. Now it's still muddy, but I'll put them out there in the open air in the grow area, and this should kind of dry out a little bit, and these should still be just fine. So I've got 7 more plants out here that I've transplanted into this coconut core, and we're going to put them now into this Floating Raft aquaponics system. And let me show you what that's all about here. Just a second. Let me grab the camera. Now, if you look way over to this side, you see that little water running in there off of that little hose. You can probably see that pretty well from here. Now where that water comes from is, if you follow this hose back over here, it comes from the fish pond. Now this fish pond, of course, you know, is full of goldfish, and this is the source of the water here in the aquaponics system. And what happens is it runs through each one of these sequentially. You can see the little pipe sticking out way down there behind the tripod, and there's another pipe that comes in here and fills this one. Now this one empties out right here, and this one goes right back. And if you see kind of where the cat is back there, that white pipe, if you look carefully, you can see a little bit of water trickling out of there. That's the return into the fish pond. Now what I'm going to do here is, you can see this is the cabbage I've already transplanted, so I'm going to put the rest of these in these little holes right here and let them grow. Now you might look at those and say, wow, I know how big cabbage grows. Isn't that going to be crowding them quite a bit? Well, yes, it will, but what I'm going to do is just let them grow a little bit right now, and then when that happens, I'll start pulling some of these out and moving them around so that they'll each have enough space to grow. I think for now, that's probably about all the cabbage I can stand right now, because they will spread out. They take about a foot or more space each one. So that's them all transplanted. So what do I got? 4, 8, 11 plants out here. Now as you can see, what I was saying how this is dry when I was inside. You see this, I brought it out here the same way, but you can kind of see that it's nice and wet right now. So these will soak up and they'll be just fine.